That's just like the don't know how to intro this, so you take a sip of coffee thing. A lot of people do it. Okay. All right guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got a fun one for you today. We all know there's no better feeling than going and hanging your art at some place you really like. It all sells, everybody's happy. You don't have to bring it home, you make some money, you're an artist. Today we have 9 tips for a successful art show. We've been doing this a little while. We think we've put together a pretty solid list here. Even if you're out there crushing it, I think there's some good takeaway for you here, so stick around till the end. 9 tips. Number 1, pick a location that you like and that fits your vibe. This means you want to find a cafe that you really like, or a gallery that you've always wanted to be in, or somewhere that you're proud to hang your art. You don't want it to be like some dungeon where nobody's ever going to get to see it. You never go in there, you don't really care. You want it to be close to your heart. You want to be passionate about where it's hung. If you've got a coffee joint that you know the owners, you get coffee there every day, that's a perfect spot. You could be like, hey, do you ever hang art in here? You want it to be a friendly atmosphere, something that you feel comfortable like going in there and hanging stuff. It's got to fit your vibe. That's important. For my particular location in this example, there's a cafe out in the islands here in Vermont. Go in there, get coffee. Everybody's super friendly. It's just got like a cool rustic vibe. It kind of like fits my style. We went with that for this particular example. Number 2, make some art specifically for that location. Think seasonal. In this example that I'm using, this is a cafe. It's on the way to like a hotspot vacation spot here in Vermont. A lot of people come from out of state to spend the summers here on the lake, so I know that this spot is gonna be good in the summer. Not a lot of people go out there in the winter, so I don't wanna try to hang in the winter. Does that make sense? Now, I'm gonna hang some original art, and if you're tied to your original art, that's fine. I think it's good to sprinkle some in, but I think if you're looking to make money, I think it's important that you make some art specifically for that location. So in this case, I've made a Lake Champlain cutout, I've made some shoreline, like sunset pictures, and stuff that just like stands out as being Lake Champlain specific and lake house specific. It's Vermont, a lot of cows, that kind of thing. You get the idea. So something that just kind of like fits the space. The other thing I did is I also went heavy with the maple frames because most of the decorations and things inside this cafe are maple, and it just fits. You'll see it's just like kind of cohesive. You want it to all fit. Tip number 3. This is just something I do. I don't think it's make or break, but I think it does help for the day of hanging your art. And so that's plan. Draw out the space, where you're gonna put what. That's something I really like to do. I just basically overlay it on my iPad, turn down the opacity so I can draw on the pieces of art and where I think they'd fit. You'll see for this particular hanging, I thought I was gonna get the whole cafe. It turns out I only got one wall, and that's totally fine. We kind of just had to like think on our feet when we got there. But if I were to have the whole thing, I've got all of my 11x14s, 16x20s, 10x10s, just kind of like laid out in an order where I think it would look really good. Point being, you can just show up, you know where stuff's gonna go, bang, 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 you're in and out, you're not destroying the place, they can still run their business while you hang, all that kind of good stuff. Tip number 4, this one's super important. Take pictures, lots of pictures. If you think you have too many pictures, take a few more. By this I mean you should be taking studio photos that you can use for your website, Instagram, Facebook, things like that in a controlled environment. I got some cheap lights off of B&H, and you can light your pieces, and I just hang them on a wall in the basement, snap some photos, bring them into Photoshop. They're pretty, they go on Instagram, and I can use them for all kinds of stuff. The other thing you should do is if you've got a friend who's not busy that day, or if you've got somebody that's helping you hang the art, ask them to bring a camera, provide them with a camera, try to get some candid shots of you hanging. Ask the guy sitting at a table, hey man, do you mind just taking a photo of me with all my artwork behind us? It's a good conversation starter. You could take this a million different ways. Point being, take a lot of pictures. You'll see we're gonna use this later on down the list. Tip number 5, set up a bio, provide business cards or some way to get in contact with you. This is my bio. It's just like a little bit about me. My name's Sam, this is where I live, this is what I do, this is the college I went to, and the degree I got that I never used. So all that good stuff. You want the people looking at your art to get a sense of who you are, a nice bio with like a color picture and some fun language. Share what you'd like to share. It makes people realize that there's a real person that made this and this is kind of who they are. Very handy. And try to make it pretty. Try to make it blend in with what you've got. If your art's real pretty, you want everything to kind of like vibe. I keep saying vibe, it's fine. Number 6, make a price sheet. Make it easy to buy your art. So what I have is I've set up a sheet. It's got colored pictures of all the art I've hung there. It's got the dimensions dimensions, frame species for me because that's a big part of what I do, and how much it costs. Everything you kind of need to know or would have questions about what's hanging on the wall. This just seems to make it like super easy for people to buy. They really like honestly don't have to even talk to anybody. They can come in, have a cup of coffee, look at the art, decide they want something, check the price sheet, head to the counter, purchase the art, and off they go. The other thing I like to include in my price sheet is just any kind of directions that the gallery or shop owner gives you. In my case, they prefer cash or check, so I just put that in a little spot on the bottom. Number 7. Promote, promote, promote. So once you've hung your art, you've done all these steps, now it's time to promote it. Instagram, Facebook, blast it out on all your social media. Use your pictures that you took, studio and candid. Make it a big deal. You wanna blast this out and be like, this is a big deal, my art's hanging, go see it. This is good for you for selling art. It's good for the business or the gallery, wherever you have the art. You're bringing in business, everybody's happy. Promote, promote, promote. Tip number 8. Ask if there's an opportunity for next year. If you really like how it went, if you like working with them, you can do this in the beginning, you can do this at the end to see if it went really well. Be like, this was really great for both of us. You know, you made a little cash, I made some money, I brought in business, you brought in business. Want to do this the same time next year? And a lot of times they'll be like, that'd be great, because then they don't have to worry about planning it. They don't have to go out and find an artist to fill the spot. So if you can plan it for next year, you've got that checked off your box, boom, summer's out of the way, we're good to go. And that brings us to our last tip, is number 9, to make a show schedule. So what I like to do is just lay out the year. I do it seasonally, so spring, summer, fall, winter. And I like to just be like, okay, I want to go here in the fall. I think this would be a good opportunity in the winter. If you've asked for that opportunity and they've said yes, boom, you can mark that in. I think having a schedule lets you figure out what you want to be doing and where you want to be hanging your art. It also holds you responsible for getting stuff done, making art for that show. It just really keeps the ball rolling. So yeah, make an art schedule. So that's it, guys. 9 tips for a successful art show. If you have any more tips, if you have any comments on the tips I've given you, if you have stuff that worked, stuff that didn't work, please let me know down in the comments. It really helps. If you could like this video, that also helps. Share it with an artist friend if you can. Let me know. If we can grow this list, we can all grow together. There's so many opportunities out there, and I hope this helps. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. I don't know what the next one's gonna be about. Hopefully it brings value. We'll see you next time. Bye.